Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So with me today is Penji Harmony, right? She is here to, to discuss with her experience on our first week Shabda. All right, so I'm glad that, very delighted that, she joined us to share her experience and, to give us a little bit more insight about, how did the Shabda help her in her daily experience. All right, Penji, this concept is very unique, right? I typically find doing good things to people who I find nice, right? I also do bad things to people who typically are behaving like my enemies, right? They don't favor me, right? What do you think about this new Shabda that we learned last week? It says about Bureda Palakar, your enemy, but you have to treat him like a nice person. What do you think?
In my opinion, I feel that this is a good Shabbat for us to, practice this, because it's very easy for us to be good to people who are doing good onto us. But sometimes when, when they're not really nice to us, we sometimes find it very difficult. Like if you're behaving in such a way, sometimes we tend to like, oh, why don't I just do exactly the same onto you? Like, why do we have to become the bigger person? So I feel that this Shabda has like allowed all of us to like practice this and think about, before you get angry or, do something bad upon someone, you just want to sit down and think about it and, become the bigger person lah. Do the good upon everyone. Doesn't matter if they are nice to you or not nice to you. Yeah.
Excellent, Penji. So even myself, I find that concept was very easy to say. When I recite the Shabda, it's very, very simple. But then, the fact is when I try to, face someone I dislike at work, I felt that, how do I now change my perspective for this person, right? Believing that, I'm going to do good to him, right? Not knowing how I will be accepted. I think that was a challenge. Anyway, Penji, glad to hear that from you. You had the same challenge. And Penji, I would like to understand, we often feel very angry in a situation, right? The second piece of this chapter talks about gussa, right? And anger is a very unique topic. And, according to some research that I read, done by Oxford and other universities, they typically leads into a degradation in health, right? Be it stressful situation which leads to mental illness, mental disorder, and eventually leads to commit-suicide, right? So, what is your personal opinion about anger, and how do we overcome this in certain situation in our practical life?
Honestly, I would say that sometimes we want to be angry, but the first step is to be aware. That your awareness should be there. That I'm going to be like sometimes you can't control it, and you're going to be angry. You just have to take a step back and realize that this is a triggering situation for me, and like no one should like you think it's easy for everyone to like deal with how like you're feeling kan. Sometimes we don't really think about it, and we just want to we just get angry and we don't really think about what we are saying and all that. We just explode and
correct. The trigger point doesn't kick in, right? So, but here, if you are aware, I'm being angry now, there's a trigger point.
And no one actually deserves to be like if you think of other people's perspective and they are in your company, like they shouldn't really have to go through that. Like with you being angry at them, you should be kind and nice to everyone lah. Like it's not like anyone's fault.
Right. In my personal experience, Penji, I find giving a pause in my discussion helps. When I, just like what you say, we have to first trigger and being aware that we are angry, right? Right after that, I find putting a pause to it really help, right? So that I don't continue to utter words which are right in my mind because I'm angry, right? I think that pause really helps. And the second trick that I learned lately was breathe in, breathe out. Breathing kind of help too, right? Because it delay the process and send a lot of oxygen to your brain so that it calms you down, it makes you think more positively. So I think those tricks really helped me after a week of reading about it.
Yeah, even for me, I feel that sometimes you just need to take a short walk, disengage from the situation. Because some
Hanji.
people tend to this how their personality is like. They tend to they want to push you to you cannot control it. When you're there and you're being in the situation where you're being confronted or something, you will tend to feel like you need to defend yourself, and might get angry over this. Yeah. So you just have to take a short walk away and clear your mind.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Penji. I think this tips that you are sharing with us, hopefully it will benefit others. And I'm looking forward for the next week Shabda, so that we can continue to recite that. I personally recite the Shabda about 20 times in a day, right? Hoping that I can make 101 as I promised, right? Just like the rest of you, I hope you continue to recite the next Shabda about 20 times a day, and keep it going. Thank you very much. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Farida Bureda Pelakara, Gussa Manna Hadai, Dehi Rog Na Lagai, Pele Sab Ki Chapai. Alright, that was our Shabda for this week, Penji. So, this Shabda has brought a lot of meaning to me personally. Do you want to share something meaningful from your end, Penji, about be it the experience that you had over the week, where you find this Shabda can reflect you and help you moving on?
Actually, during this week, I had auditors coming to my office, so I was very stressed out because there was some work that was not completed. And instead of me losing my, anger with my staff, why haven't you all done work? I just relaxed, and I went in earlier 2 days and told my staff, I said, look, we have people coming. I think we should get together and get things done. And not by being nice to my staff, the work actually got done in a very short period. And I realized without me losing my temper with my staff, being nice to them, telling them very nicely that these things we have to do it because it's they want us where our paperwork is concerned must be up to date, and the staff actually did very well because they found out that the boss is now very nice to them. Suddenly, they also don't know why. Later, she came back to me and said, what did you do during the week that now you are different? You are not angry with me, or you come and tell me, why are you late? Why didn't you do? Normally you do that, but this time you were very calm and you told me we work together and we get things done. I realized that, by controlling my anger and sitting back and thinking how I want to approach this actually helped me better. My work came more successful.
Excellent, Penji. That's a really excellent example.
And I didn't get headache. Normally, when there is this type of work tension, I'll get headache. Oh my God, today I have to go to work. Oh, I'll be grumbling in the house. But it was very cool. Got up morning, had my normal breakfast, cool drive. Even the traffic jam, it didn't bother me. I reached on time, and I was very relaxed. Maybe that's what you call that, the power of Bani. I wouldn't know that these are some of the things that I experienced on this Shabbat.
Excellent, Penji.
Where you said that, you won't get the rogue, you won't get the sickness, right? All that.
Correct. Yeah, Penji. So even scientifically, it's proven that, our body, right, when we attract to negative energy, it kind of feel, it spiral down, right? And there's also a Sakhi, not really Sakhi, a saying in deep Amazon, right? There are still a local tribe where, if they want to kill a tree, they gather around the tree and then they curse the tree, they generate anger, right? And eventually the tree dies, right? So I think you kind of just did the opposite of that, right? In your office environment, and cultivate that positive energy until people realize, hey, what did you do over the weekend, right? That's really nice, Penji.
And another thing I realized was, there's always complaint that koi ਪਰੌਂਠਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ. So I said, instead of telling other people, come, I told my sister, let's go. We go every time Sunday, 6 o'clock, we must be in the Gurdwara. And surprisingly, when there were nobody, now I have 15 people coming. You know, when there is positive energy, you do attract people to come for something that is good happening.
Right.
And happily, a lot of people, and where the Pronteni Seva used to take 2 hours, it finished in less than an hour.
Hanji, Hanji, excellent. So, Panji, can you also, tell us a bit more about, some of the challenges that you see reciting this Shabda in a daily practice?
Frankly, my memory is bad.
Hanji.
I remember the Shabad when I'm sleeping, I can recite the whole Shabad, but when I'm awake, I have to think back. What's the Shabad? How did it go? I have to actually look. Oh, then I remember. I'm not sure why that, oh, kami aayi hui ya.
But yeah, we hope that we continue to recite and then
Like
sharpen
you
our
say, you
memory.
keep
right?
on reciting, you make perfect.
Correct. One simple practice, Panji, what I did differently was right after coming back from this session when we got the Shabda, I quickly, went to SoundCloud and find a kirtan in this Shabda.
Oh, okay, that's
right?
great.
So then on the way back, me and my kids, we sang that, kirtan and Shabda very loud. And I made sure by the time we reach home, which is about 20 minutes drive from here, all of us were ready with the Shabda in our mind. So I think that will be really helpful, if all of us can do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Anything else do you want to share with us, Panji, for today?
I think these sessions are actually very helpful. Even today's session, things that we take it for granted, but when we hear VG tell us, we say, oh my God, it's so true. If we only can practice what we are listening.
Anji. Yeah, no doubt. He's like our Bible too, right? He has a lot of knowledge which he's sharing with us. So, really, I'm really looking forward for the next Shabda this week, in this project, Sarbat Dapala. All right. That's all, Panji. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.